Ready?
Yeah.
Okay. こんにちは、皆さん。SIUK とノーサンプトンのセミナーにお越しいただきましてありがとうございます。本日はオンラインセミナー、ノーサンプトン大学でマーケティング修士号パダ4のコースになっております。本日はノーサンプトン大学の MSC インターナショナルマーケティングストラテジーのコースリーダーのジェイソンさんと、担当官のカンタロウさんと、今現在ノーサンプトン大学でノーサンプトン大学に通われている生徒さんのノリさんにお越しいただいております。まずはジェイソンさんから MSC インターナショナルマーケティングストラテジーについてのプレゼンテーションをしていただきます。Jason san, can you please start the presentation, please?
Of course. Thank you for the introduction and good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, and welcome to this short presentation. My name is Jason Vaughan, so I'm the course leader for the MSc in International Marketing Strategy at the University of Northampton. So my plan for today really is to give you a feel of what we really aim to achieve on the course at Northampton, not only in terms of the academic qualifications that you will obtain, but also the broader experience of studying at Northampton, how you will build your network amongst your peers and amongst your academic colleagues, so that once you finish the course, you are in a really great position to find the job that sort of fulfills your ambitions. So this is what I'm going to talk about today. So I'm just going to turn the slide. So I just thought I would give you a short overview of myself, because I guess I'm quite typical of the teaching staff on the course, in that, as you can see, as well as being an academic at the university, I came to the position with lots of practical industry experience. So in my own case, it was over 20 years working for a variety of companies, from the oil industry to management consultancy to accountancy firms and lots of other things. And my colleagues are quite similar. So what we really aim to do is, when we're talking with you and teaching you in the classroom, we don't want to just explain the theory or the academic world. We also want to bring it into the real world. And we want to show you lots of examples of how to apply the knowledge, so that once again you leave university, you are able to be an effective marketing or business person in the company that you work for. You can contact me following this presentation should you have some more questions. I'll be happy to answer anything you want. So there is my email address on the screen, jason.ford@northampton.ac.uk. Also, you can follow me on LinkedIn, which is a social networking site for professionals. And also, I'm on Twitter, so I gather lots of information around how international marketing, global marketing is impacting on companies out there in the real world. So please do get in touch following the presentation. So let me tell you a little bit about the course now. So our starting point is to give you lots of experiences on the course. So we're going to give you the academic knowledge, and that academic knowledge is based on the latest thinking. So we look at studies from all over the world, from Asia, from Africa, from the US, from Europe, and we build all of this academic knowledge into our program, and we update it every year. So we know it's really important in marketing to be up to date. The world is constantly changing. The last 2 years have showed us that nothing stays the same, and even things like the pandemic impact on how companies are going to change in the future. But also technology is changing, of course, how people shop is changing, the move to online, the development of new social platforms. So in marketing, nothing is staying the same very long. So we need to have a dynamic course that gives you lots of experience and insight into these competitive practices. So again, that when you move into the working world, you're able to integrate into a team and add value to that team, because actually we see getting a postgraduate qualification as only part of the equation. We need to also make sure that you get a job that is suitable for your skills and gives you a very clear and strong career path, so that then you can make your mark in the world. So in terms of the modules on the course, which is on my next slide, hopefully you can see that okay, we offer two pathways. So we have the traditional pathway, where you study 6 taught modules, and then you complete a dissertation on a topic of your choice, essentially anything to do with a marketing related topic. The newer and possibly more popular pathway now is to also take a placement year. So you study alongside your colleagues who are going to complete a dissertation, but then in the second year, you move on to taking a 12-month work placement, which again gives you that invaluable work experience. So whether you decide you want to stay in the UK and do a 2-year post-study work visa, or you decide you want to travel to another country or travel back home, you have got some practical experience as well as academic skills on your CV. So to support this, over the last year, we've partnered with the Digital Marketing Institute. So if you look them up on Google, then what you will see is they are a leading external qualification, and they work with the likes of Facebook, Twitter, Airbnb, lots and lots of big technology companies. And we have mapped the curriculum of one of our modules, Digital Marketing Strategy, to the Digital Marketing Institute's curriculum. And what this means is, on successful completion of the digital marketing module on the course, you then become a power member of the Digital Marketing Institute. We pay all of the fees for the first year, so you get this great qualification, you get a certificate that you can put in your CV, and it really shows the world that you are up to date and qualified in digital marketing, as well as, of course, getting your postgraduate qualification in international marketing. So we see this as a real win-win, that you get the latest digital skills to support your strategic thinking. And we know from feedback from industry that they really like that combination. So talking of industry, as you can see on the screen, and probably a common question from students is, how will I be assessed on this course? And we use a whole range of assessments, which I will talk about, but critically, we also link them to real live companies. So for example, this year, my students are working with an ice cream company called Hackney Gelato, a very fast growing business backed by venture capital funds. And they're aiming to become a large premium ice cream brand, a bit similar to Ben & Jerry's or Häagen-Dazs, if you're familiar with those brands, but a little bit more premium. So Tom, who's in the center of my screen there, he's the chief executive of that company. He briefed students, he gave them some background on the company. He talked about their ambitions to be a global company and to expand internationally. And now the students are working on that project. They're advising Tom on the things he needs to be considering in taking the business international, and also helping him to select a new market in the world. So as you can see, real high value, high experience learning experiences. Previously, we had Mike Slevin, who's the other picture on the screen, works for a global brand, Ivesys, based out of the USA, got operations in many parts of the world. And again, they're a business to business company. And again, Mike came into the classroom twice talking to students, interacting with them, telling them what he needed for his business, and the students were working on this project. So this concept of real life business projects embedded, a core part of the learning experience, again means that University of Northampton students leave us able to get to work in their company straight away and make a real impact. So we'll just turn to my next slide. So in terms of styles of assessments, I've just sort of explained one style, which is this link with industry. Across the different modules, the 6 taught modules, you will have a variety of assessments. So on the screen there, this is one style of assessment, which is a poster presentation. So for the digital marketing module, you get to explore different aspects of digital marketing and digital marketing technology. Anything from QR codes, augmented reality, virtual reality, how digital marketing impacts upon luxury brands. So again, it gives you the opportunity to explore the latest technology and also the aspects that interest you personally. So we have some flexibility in our assessments to take account of where you see your career going in the future and to shape your learning experience to match that future career path that you're expecting. Across other modules, we use a range of things such as essays, reports, presentations, again, on a whole variety of topics, from looking at cultural differences, developing communication plans for different markets, looking at how companies enter markets and select new geographic markets, how to put a strategic marketing plan together. So really, we give you a toolkit of everything an international marketing manager would need. And I can say this with confidence because I've been an international marketing manager and I know exactly what tools you need to be successful in the job, how to use marketing research, how to ensure you gather the correct data to make decisions. So we have quite a significant data element in one of the modules. Again, looking at big data, data analysis, the sorts of skills that if you look at a job description, maybe you can look at the type of job you would like to do when you graduate, look at the skills and knowledge they require for that job, and I'm pretty confident you will find all, or if not most, of those requirements fulfilled within the MSc. But it's not just really about the academic skills. I'm going to show you on my next slide that how we want to build a well-rounded individual and also to give you a great experience in the UK. So we were one of the first universities in the UK to go back to face-to-face teaching. So just after Easter in the UK, which was around late April, early May this year, we were back. As you can see on some of these photos, these are posts that students put up on Instagram. There we are in the classroom. Of course, we kept distance. Of course, we had adequate ventilation in the room and we're wearing masks. But we found it was really important to get back in the classroom as a group together, and we really enjoyed it. You can see some happy faces in those photos. The students were also, as you can see from some of the other images of London, Tower Bridge, the Houses of Parliament, the Tower of London, the students were there going out into London, exploring Northampton, really getting the most out of their time in the UK, as I'm sure you will as well. So having these social events and having teaching in the classroom face-to-face adds enormously to the experience. And that top right photo, if you can see where we've got a selfie stick in the image, we held a picnic. So as soon as the weather got a little bit warmer and brighter in the UK, we held an outside picnic. It was on a roof terrace at the university, And again, it was a lovely experience to be able to share some food and some laughter. And again, on my next slide, we've repeated this model. Just last week, we had a celebration in the UK. We have Halloween, and our students from India celebrate Diwali. So we brought these events together. As you can see, we had some pumpkin carving, the students dressed up in fancy dress. For many of the students, they'd never carved a pumpkin before. It wasn't part of their home culture, but they really enjoyed it, as you can see. And again, you can find more photographs on Instagram and various social networking sites. We also did a visit, if you can just see at the top right-hand side there, to a traditional British pub. So these students, they look happy, don't they, right? They're not just in the UK to study. They're here to make hopefully lifelong friends and to build memories of having a great academic experience, making friends, seeing London, seeing Northampton, getting involved in the whole traditions of the UK. And I will just let you know, we're also having a Christmas party in the UK. So again, it's a great time for people to celebrate the end of the semester and have some fun with their course mates and tutors. I may add, they always invite their tutors, so we all get together, and it's just a really nice experience to get to know each other. And also, in these photos, we've not just got the current students who just started in September 21. We've got some students who started in September 20, and one or two who started in September 2019. So the students who are still local, they love being part of the family that we create within the university on this program. They keep coming back, and I'm sure they will for a long, long time. So I'm going to show you some more experiences now of what we get up to on the course. Let me just turn the slide. So there was a question I saw pop up around placements, and we'll have plenty of time for questions at the end. But of course, if you're coming to the UK, you're choosing this course to get that 1 year work experience at the end. We need to help you as a university, as a program team, to get that placement. So we do that in 3 ways, essentially. The first way is that you are enrolled onto an employability skills module. So if you enroll for the placement, you automatically take part in a module that helps to build your self-evaluation, so you can decide what type of placement you would like, in what type of industry. Is it in the fashion industry? Is it in the tech industry? Is it in branding? Is it in marketing research? So we really help you to reflect upon where you see yourself in the future, and to help you build the CV skills you need, the interview skills that are important, and really just all of that kind of foundational information. We also have a placements office at the university. So again, they will work with you on mock interview days. So we invite lots of employers onto campus, sometimes virtually, sometimes face-to-face, and students can go through all of the typical interview processes. So whether that's a one-on-one interview, whether that's an assessment center. So for instance, just a few weeks ago, we had the Volkswagen Group come onto campus and conduct a mock assessment center, which is usually a key part of the recruitment process for large organizations. And the placements office also send out a regular newsletter to students with the latest placement opportunities. In addition, myself as program leader and some of my colleagues as well, we find placement opportunities. So in the UK, it's an American social platform called LinkedIn, and I'm very active on there. And these, as you can see on the screen, these are just a few of the opportunities that I've recently been sharing with my students to help them find a placement. So there's Google, there's the fashion beauty brand L'Oreal, there's obviously TikTok, and there's a local company called ST United, which is a student-based content creation company, where We've got students on placement at the moment, and we've also got graduates working there, as well as many other organisations. We've got students working in the local government. We've got students working in a fast-growing coffee business. We've got students on placement in a fintech company, a financial technology company. So we really are here to help you to find that ideal work experience. But of course, it works both ways. The students need to engage with these activities. They need to put in the energy and the effort to find a placement, because it is a competitive field. Like any good job, there will be lots of candidates, but we aim to help you really get that job that you're looking for, that placement. And all placements are fully paid. So it's a requirement as part of the placement module that you must be paid at least the UK minimum wage, and it has to be the placement has certain other requirements, such as it has to be a full-time placement, has to be a full-time role. You have to be doing meaningful work. So again, it's got to be a graduate or postgraduate level job. It can't be working as a waitress in a restaurant or something like that. We're looking to give you real marketing experience that will be of value to you in your future career. So turn the slide. So what fun stuff do we do? What other fun stuff? We do a lot of fun stuff. So just before the lockdown, we went to an entrepreneurship exhibition in the UK where we learned about some new technology. This is virtual reality goggles. That's Sneha, a student from 2 years ago, who still comes to our events. On the next slide, what you'll see is also a really valuable and exclusive trip we arranged. So this is, I'm sure you've heard of Jaguar Land Rover, but they also have a special division called Classics, which is essentially where very wealthy people buy their vehicles. So they do classic cars such as the E-Type Jaguar on the screen. They look after the Queen of England's cars. They look after many, many cars for very wealthy people. And we were very fortunate that the chief executive spent 3 hours with us, showed us behind the scenes, explained to us the detail really of how do you sell and market to people who really money is no object. So these are the kind of people who may live in Japan, they may live in the USA, and they have these luxury cars, and they fly their cars to the United Kingdom to be serviced, to be maintained, to be repaired. So the very wealthiest people in our societies. So it's a really nice look at luxury marketing, sales, as well as various other aspects of personal selling activity. And also, it was just a fascinating day to get into a real business and to see some beautiful cars, and also talking about the move to electric vehicles, which is happening all over the world now, this trend of moving away from combustion engines into electric vehicles. Again, on the next slide, you'll see that we had, this is a local entrepreneur called Damian Smith. He's been on TED Talks, if you're a fan of the TED Talks. He's also a professional dancer. He works with many leading businesses throughout Europe, family businesses, advising them on high growth strategies. So again, if you're maybe into things like you want to work for a fast growing business, a family business, a tech business, we aim to give you some insight into those industries through the guest speakers that we bring along into the classroom. On my next slide, you'll also see big name speakers. So a vice president from must be the world's most well-known brand, Coca-Cola. So Dr. Maji Jaggi was sharing some great insight into working for a company like Coca-Cola, what they expect from future graduates. And also his particular specialism was working with Coca-Cola's major accounts, people like McDonald's, KFC, Nando's, some of the very popular fast food chains. And how do you deal with these multi-million-dollar customers? How do you satisfy their needs? How do you negotiate with them? So he gave us an hour of his time. He was talking to us directly from Texas, where he lives. A great presentation. And again, it's a rare insight, trying to get the vice president of Coca-Cola to take time out of their day to talk to students. It's a great privilege to hear from these people. And again, on my next slide, what you're going to see is Lionel Sancarr. He's a graduate from the course. So just like you will be, if you join the MSc International Marketing Strategy, he graduated in, I think it was 2015. He went back to his home country, and now he is heading up the coffee business for Nestle in that region. So I think he's got responsibility for about 5 or 7 countries in sort of Northwest Africa. He came back speaking to students, reflecting very fondly about his time at Northampton, and also how much he learned and how useful that information was in his career, and how it's really helped him to get to where he wanted to be. And it wasn't just the academic knowledge, it was also some of the support we gave him in how to find a job in his home country. So we help with all of those aspects as well. So again, it's about giving you, a head start in your career as much as about giving you, skills and knowledge to get ahead in that career. Another great guest speaker who came back to talk to us is Conchetta. So again, after leaving the MSc, she did a 12-month internship at Unilever at their headquarters in the Netherlands. She then was recruited into a full-time permanent position at Unilever and moved back to their London headquarters. So she's currently living in London. She's working in a global marketing role for the Simple brand. She actually had her choice of brands within Unilever. They're that impressed with her that she has got many opportunities and people are offering her all sorts of exciting things to do. But she wanted to really work with a very ethical brand. And so she's working on the Simple skincare product range, launching it into multiple products. She was responsible for launching it into Latin America, South America. And she came back and again gave us great insight really into how, again, she used the knowledge gained as part of her course on global marketing. And also, as you will know from your own experience in Japan, how do global brands, when they go into other markets, how do they enter those markets? What do they need to change to be relevant in those local markets? And what things can they keep the same to really make the most of their global brand image, maybe production efficiencies and things like that. So Conchetta will be coming to talk to students again this year. She's always a really popular speaker. She's very passionate about both the university and her own sort of career. And we always enjoy hearing from Conchetta. Likewise, I'm just going to show you another former student, Tuan, who came back to the university yesterday. So yesterday afternoon, I was in a room full of students. Tuan, who's based in Vietnam, joined us live. We had a great session. Again, he's working for one of the largest marketing agencies in the world, Ogilvy. Some of the student questions to him was, how helpful was it to have a master's degree in marketing from a UK university when you went back home to Vietnam? And his advice was, it was just incredibly important. Upon returning home to Vietnam, he found a job at Ogilvy within 3 weeks. And he said other people on the course who also went back home also secured jobs at great companies in a very short space of time. So employers in his home country recognize the value of A, having a master's degree, but B, having studied in English. It was very important. I mean, Tuan, for example, manages the Spotify account in Vietnam, but his client is actually based in London. So he felt that having good English language speaking skills was very important to him, even though he is now based back in Ho Chi Minh City. He was also very, just talking about what he got out of the university, how he took on lots of additional responsibility. He was an ambassador for the university, so you would often see him on campus, helping other students, supporting them in their studies, helping out at open days to recruit students. So he built a really great CV, and he was a phenomenal student as well. So when he went back to his home country, I'm not surprised he was able to achieve a really high quality job that, really it's the dream job. If you've got a marketing sort of background, to go and work for one of the world's biggest marketing agencies is perfect. And actually just recently, the last few weeks, he's now moved client side. So he's working for a big food brand in Vietnam. So the skills he gained on the course were very influential in his career success to date. So just one or two more slides now to show you, just to share a few of the other things we do. So these are some of the recent companies that students have either gone to work for on placement or have worked for when they've graduated. Some of these may be familiar to you. Things like Ogilvy, I'm sure, are Unilever, Nestle, British Telecom, also Avon, the global skincare brand, Sainsbury's, quite a large supermarket brand. So you can see, and I'm sure these are all the logos I could fit on the slide. There are many, many others. We have students from pretty much every part of the world, from the United States, Brazil, Colombia, Hong Kong, Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, all over Europe, Philippines. I mean, literally, you will be in a classroom with students from every corner of the globe, and that will enrich your learning experience enormously. I learn from the students. The students don't just learn from me. I equally learn just as much from them. You're talking to students from Ghana, from South Africa, from Nigeria, from Morocco. It gives us the awareness. And Tuan, when he was speaking yesterday, and in answer to one of the questions from a student, they were saying, what's one of the key things you learn from your postgrad? And what do you look for when you're hiring graduates? Because Tuan hires people as well now. And his answer was, he recruits and he gained an open mind. An open mind that shows that we are aware of other cultures. We're aware that everyone in the world doesn't think like we do. They don't see the world like we do. They've been brought up in different economic systems, different political systems. And therefore, an open mind brings creativity. And like we said right at the start of this presentation, there's lots of challenges in the world. There's lots of changes. And the only way you can deal with those changes is by having an open, creative mind. The solutions that worked last year, 10 years ago, those solutions will not work next year or in 5 years into the future. You are the generation that will be shaping companies and shaping society well into the future. And our job as educators is to help you to develop the skills and the mindset to be able to do that. So thank you for your time. If there are any questions, please feel free to ask them now. This is my favorite day of the year. It's graduation day with some of my colleagues, and we love celebrating our student success. We love hearing about what you're now doing when you leave the university, what you enjoyed whilst you're at university, and keeping in touch with you. We keep in touch with you forever. You can't get rid of us, and we would never want you to, because we want to be part of your network and part of your support network, even offering advice or anything else we can do to help you in the future. So I will hand over now for the questions, and please, yeah, it's been great speaking to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jason. It was a wonderful
Thank you.
presentation. It's full of fun. I want
Thank
to
you.
join this class personally.
Please do.
So, may I ask, how many students are you teaching at the moment? How many students are in one class?
Well, on the course, we typically have approximately between 25 and 30 students on the course.
Mm-hmm.
So in most classes, you will have you'll be with all of your course mates. So there'll be those 25 or so students. But on some specific modules, you may have some students off other courses as well. So for example, in my own module, which is the Global Marketing Strategy module, I also have the students who are studying International Business Management. So again, it gives the students a little bit of shared experience with students who are on different courses, so they get some insight into them as well and meet a wider range of students. But yeah, but typically, like at our social events, as you saw, we have about 25 to 30 students, plus a few graduates and other people.
Have you ever taught a Japanese student? Are you currently teaching some Japanese?
There are no Japanese students currently on my course. I think it must be just about the only Asian country where there are no Japanese students, although I understand that there are likely to be some joining next year.
That's good. Thank you. And I received a few questions right now. One of them is the work placement guaranteed? Is it paid or unpaid? I believe international marketing strategy has work placement option, 1 year of work placement option. Is
Correct.
it guaranteed and paid or unpaid?
Okay, it is paid, but it is not guaranteed, because of course the student still has to go along to the interview. So there's no way we could possibly guarantee that. And my own personal view is that you are far better off getting a high quality placement of the sort I showed you at Google or TikTok or Avon, rather than being fitted into a placement that is possibly not going to be to your own interest or your own career ambition. So we will fully support you in finding a placement. As you saw, I showed you a few of the ways that we do that. And it is a paid placement, but it is not guaranteed.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Okay.
皆さん、他にコースや学校についてのご質問がありましたら、チャットボックスからご自由にお知らせください。Kantaro-san, are you going to do presentation or are you going to talk for a little while about the school?
Yes, so I'm going to be talking about the school and also admission process as well. So maybe we can come back to the questions at the end with Jason, and I want to also bring in Nori, our current student too. So maybe there are some questions for Nori too. Is that okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So hello everybody. So my name is Kanta-Rose Woolley. I am from the international office here at the University of Northampton, and my role is to help you to apply and deal with admissions process and help you throughout the journey. I also want to bring in Nori, our current Japanese student who is here with us today. She is an exchange student here for 1 term. So Nori, can you turn on your camera and your microphone? Hello, Nori. So if that's okay, Nori, would you be able to kind of share your experience along with me as I go through the presentation, so we can actually hear from the student themselves about their experience of University of Northampton. So let's start with where we are. We are in the middle of the UK. So easily accessible to London, to major cities like Birmingham, Oxford and Cambridge, and served by 5 international airports. So Nori, can you share with me how easy is it to travel around Northampton and how easy to get from the airport to here?
日本語にした方がいいですか？私の場合は、飛行場からタクシーで、ノーサンプトンまで来ました。だいたい1時間半ぐらい高速道路に乗って、渋滞もなくさっと着いた感じです。非常にロンドンから近いんじゃないかなという雰囲気感じてます。で、まだ電車を使ってロンドンに行くなんてことをしたことがないので、今度電車で行った時にどう感じるか分かりませんけども、多分近いんだろうな、日帰りで行って帰ってこれる距離にあるんだろうなっていうふうに思ってます。
Thank you. And I just got some pictures of the campus itself. So we have a town centre campus called Waterside, and it's brand new. It was built in 2018. It has 24/7 library, state-of-the-art facilities, really modern atmosphere. So Nori, do you want to share with us your first impression of the Waterside campus?
まだ来て1ヶ月なので、全部を知り尽くしてるわけじゃないんですが、とりあえず一通り回ってみて感じたのは、非常に綺麗な大学で、大学に長くいたいなっていう感じしてます。授業が終わっても、できるだけ長く残って、特に図書館とか、カフェテリアとか、本当に過ごしやすい、いい雰囲気を感じてます。
Thank you. And the Northampton is a town, it's not a city. So you probably are familiar with London being a massive city or Birmingham being a massive city. So Northampton is a small town. So you can pretty much walk anywhere in Northampton quite easily. And it's actually within a walking distance from Waterside campus as well. So it has a real town feel. A lot of Japanese students say it has a real English town feel with like traditional buildings and churches in the middle of it. So Nori, do you want to share with us what's your impression of Northampton?
私はちょうど1年前にマンチェスターに3ヶ月語学留学をしてまして、そのマンチェスターと比較をすると確かに小さい町なんですけども、本当に静かで落ち着いた町なので、歩いてて非常に幸せだなって感じしてます。大きい町が好きな方もいらっしゃると思いますけども、大学で勉強して、で、少し息抜きで街をふらふら歩く、そんな感じで毎日過ごしてますけども、非常に過ごしやすいところです。ちょうど街の中心部から学校まで、バスがあるんですけども、バスで、5分もすれば行けてしまう。で、そのバスの本数も20分に1本ぐらい走っていて、最初はそれを使ってたんですけども、その後歩くようになりまして、歩いて約15分、街の中心部から、本当に今写真に写ってますけども、こんなところを抜けていって、ウォーターサイドキャンパスですから、若干自然に囲まれた雰囲気があって、そこを抜けて、キャンパスに入っていく。非常に建物もそうですし、自然もそうですし、そんなものを感じながら、朝と夕方歩いています。街は小さいので、だいたい1日歩けば何がどこにあるかっていうのは分かってくるかなという気がしますけど、例えばその大都市を少し息抜きで行きたいなって言ったときは、さっきも言いましたように、ロンドンとかバーミンガムとか、非常に近いところに大都市がありますから、そこへ行くっていうのも一つの手でしょうし、ウィークデーはここのノーサンプトンで、ゆっくりと勉強に集中して、友達と同級生たちとですね、コミュニケーションを取るっていうのはいいことかなというふうに思っています。
So we are known for the most beautiful countryside that you can explore. And, you might think, oh, London is just a stone throw away, but there are lots of things to do around Northampton. For example, there's Althorpe estate where Lady Diana was laid to rest, and this is her family home as well. So you can actually visit that. It's only 5 miles away from a Northampton town centre. There are so many other things you can do, like the Formula One Grand Prix that you can go and visit the Silverstone racetrack. And in July next year, you can save the date so you can actually visit and watch the Formula One Grand Prix where all the celebrities and music festivals are held. And Northampton is also known for shoemaking, and we have 900 years of heritage in shoemaking. So you'll probably see statues lying around Northampton. You can visit the museum and grab a bargain even, and a shoe factory. We host brands like Doc Martin, Church's Shoes, all these big global brand names that you might have heard of. So Nori, have you explored the museum yet? Have you grabbed a bargain?
ノースハンプトンミュージアム行きました。この町が靴で有名だっていうこともがありましたので、それをちょっと見てみたいっていうのもありますし、私が取ってるコースは、さっきも紹介ありましたように、まずアンダーグラジュエイトの学部生の1年生のところに入りました。で、年齢は私もう50歳を迎えようとしているところで、長らく日本で製薬会社で勤めていたんですけども、ちょっと一年発起をして、ツーリズムの世界に行きたいと。で、そんなことを日本で勉強している中で、やっぱり英語を使って、やっていきたいなという思いもありましたので、まず語学力を磨きたい。で、またその領域を英語で学んでみたい。で、そんな中でいろいろ探した結果、このノースハンプトンが該当しまして、で、来たと。で、実はもっと細かい話を言いますと、オーストラリアで勉強する予定もあったんですけども、現地に入ったところ、コロナでちょっと学校がなかなかうまくいかなくて、で、国境も非常に固く閉まってますので、一回日本へ帰りますと戻れないとか、そういういろんな事情がある中で、最終的にいろいろ探したところ、このノースハンプトンがその候補にありまして、で1年間、時間があまり私もなかったので、1年間だけまずはここで勉強してみようという、そんな感じで1ヶ月前に来たばかりなんですね。で、一生懸命キャッチアップしようという時間もあんまりないので、あちこち行ってます。このミュージアムもそうですし、今私サッカーのユニフォームを着てまして、これはノーサンプトンはサッカーとクリケットとラグビーと、非常に有名な、プレミアリーグというまではサッカーはいきませんけども、ただラグビーは非常に強いチームを持っているようでして、そんなものを感じてローカルにまみれながらですね、でしかもこのスポンサーがこの大学がサッカーチームはスポンサーとして機能しているという、そんな縁もありまして、スタジアムで観戦をしたりとか、その他、ニンバリーという、非常に自然豊かなですね、水路というんでしょうかね。まだ行ったことがないんですけども、そんなものも近くにあって、観光地としてもですね、少しずつ拡大してアピールを国内外にしているところでもあって、そんなことも事業で取り組んで、やってます。ノーサンプトンは小さい町ですけども、非常に魅力が詰まったところですし、これからまた発展していこうというところでもあるし、歴史もその靴のこともあって、有名なところでもあるんで、本当に一つの候補としては、十分考えてもいいところじゃないかなというふうに思ってます。
Thank you, Nori. And just to give you an idea of the size of the university, we have over 14,000 students studying with us at the moment, and about 10%, roughly over 10% of those are international students from 140 countries globally. So like Jason mentioned, you will be sitting next to students from Africa, from Brazil, Colombia, everywhere. So you can learn from each other and experience a diverse student population. And in terms of student life, I'm sure Nori has shared with you a little bit about how she went to, the cricket ground to watch the football. But at the University of Northampton, we're one of the very few universities to offer free student membership to the student union. So anything that you do with the student union, whether it's music, sports clubs, societies, anything that you're interested in is all free. So you don't have to pay anything. You get free kits to your, sports, and there's a nightclub as well, venue, the platform in the city centre that you can go to and enjoy different events that we host throughout the year. So this is a couple of pictures of other Japanese students. We've got Asuka and Yuko here. So they, gathered with other friends in the halls of residence. They also go to this event called FISH, which is Friendship with International Student, that we host to help international students settle and kind of, meet other international students and also home students. So we host like a cafe every Monday night that you can go to and meet other students and do games and have fun. And there's a host family option for the weekend where FISH can help you to experience British family life at the weekend. You can have kind of meals with them, you can have trips with them over the weekend, maybe stay with them for one night over the weekend. And I think, Nori, you actually stay with the host family. So what is the experience staying with a host family?
はい。私の同級生は比較的、寮、キャンパスの中にですね、寮があって、そこに入ってる人が多いです。それはイギリスの方も含めて、少し離れたところから来てる方もいますので、ロンドンから来てる学生もいますので、そんな方たちは寮に入ってます。で、ホームステイしてる方がどのくらい何%いるかっていうのは分かりませんけども、私の場合はもう来る時からホームステイをしたいと今回は思って、寮に入った経験も過去の留学の中でありましたけども、違ったことを経験してみたいというので、今、ホームステイしてます。だいたい1時間ぐらいバスで、通ってきてますけども、非常に郊外、ノーサンプトンから1時間離れたところですので、さらに郊外になるんで、非常に静かで、本当に過ごしやすいところだなと思ってます。で、またホストマザーとの日常生活もすごい楽しみの一つでもありまして、本当に帰るといつも雑談をしながらテレビ見て、で、彼女のお友達も結構ご近所さんにいますので、そんな方が入れ替わり立ち替わり訪ねてきたりとか、先週はハロウィンパーティーが近所でありまして、で、私ももう初めて、もう完全にコスチュームを着てお化粧もして、もうやるならとことんやってやろうというような感じでしたけども、非常に、初めは不安でしたけども、いざ変装していくと非常に興奮してきちゃって、楽しい経験をしております。いいですかね、こんな。
Thank you. And this is another student, Yuri. She's studying international relations masters at the moment. So she went apple picking before the weather turns with all of her other friends. So there's lots of things to do. And, the quicker you make friends, the more things you can explore with them and the more good experience you're going to have while studying here with us. So let's look at kind of a more serious side of, what are the steps that you need to make in order to study with us. So for Jason's course, International Marketing Strategy, we do ask for a bachelor degree from Japan, and we ask for a minimum of 2.5 CGPA. Now, Jason, can I ask you if the student have a different degree? So they didn't study marketing before, but maybe they study a relevant degree or something completely different.
Yep, that's fine. There is no requirement now to have studied a degree of a specific type. So if you've done a degree in something totally different to business or marketing, that's absolutely fine. We have students who are very successful on the course, bringing their own personal background, and the course is structured to help students who have no business or marketing background to, successfully complete the modules.
Thank you very much. And in addition to that, you would need to have IELTS 6.5 overall. IELTS, which is an English language exam that we need. It could be an academic IELTS. It doesn't need to be a UK VI IELTS. And the writing band that we ask for is 6.0 minimum. And other bands like listening, speaking, and reading can be 5.5 minimum. So if you have any questions, get in touch with me at the end. I can always talk to you more about these entry requirements, or maybe you're interested in other master degree, you want to know what the entry requirements for that, then I can always tell you. But generally, this applies to most of our master's degree. Some will probably ask for relevant degrees, so do get in touch with SIUK or myself at the end. If you don't meet the entry requirement for English language skills, we do have pre-sessional online English classes that you can take advantage of in the summer. So I will just whiz through this. If you are interested, there is some information on our website as well. But this is additional cost to your either master's or undergraduate degree, and it can run between 6 weeks to 4 weeks to 11 weeks, so depending on your IELTS level. It usually runs from Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. UK time. So that's kind of evening time for you. So you can do it after class if you're studying at the moment, or if you're working, you can do that after work. And then just quickly, the tuition fee. So if you are interested in studying international marketing strategy in January, the fee would be £14,000. And that is just for 1 year, because our master's program lasts for 1 year. And for the placement year, if you do secure a placement, it would be £500 additional. If you do not secure your placement, that is waived, so you don't have to pay that. If you are thinking of joining us in September, then the fee will go up to £15,000, and that's normal across UK university. Each year the fee will go up slightly following the inflation. So that would be £15,000 for 1 year, and then £500 for the placement year as usual. So you're probably thinking, well, what are the scholarships available then if, you know, I want to get some scholarships? So we do have 10%, 20%, and 30% scholarships available to you, depending on your academic profile and your work experience, if you have any, and your IELTS score. So we look at it overall and decide on application how much scholarships we would give you. So it's unlimited, so you don't have to fight for it. And it's applied each year of study. So for example, if you are studying an undergraduate for 3 years, it will be applied each year. For master's degree, it will be applied for just 1 year, because master's degree lasts for 1 year. And then quickly, I just want to talk about the cost of living in Northampton. We are one of the lowest, we have one of the lowest living costs in the UK, about 50% lower than London and 23% lower than most UK cities. So Nori, can you quickly share with me, like, what's your typical kind of budget? How do you find living in Northampton? Is it as cheap as you know we claim it to be?
あんまり買い物をしていないので、多分金額の違いとかはあんまり感じたことが、意識したことがないっていうのが実情ですかね。ちょっとノーアイディアですね。わかんない。
Oh, okay, because you stay with the host family, right? At the
Yes,
moment.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
So when you after you finish your host family, you probably have more experience. But generally, you know, students have said, like, when they go and buy vegetables and, you know, food in supermarket, they find that, like, actually that's like cheaper than Japan and other cities. And then we have a market as well, weekly, though you can grab some bargains too. So yeah, generally student budget around £600 to £800 per month to live comfortably in Northampton, and that would include food, rent, transport, and living expenses.
日本食材が手に入りますかっていうご質問があるみたいですけども、私もまだ自分で自炊をしていないので分かりませんが、ホストファミリーに作ってあげたいなという思いはずっとあって、で、ロンドンまで買い物行かないといけないかななんて思ってたんですけども、Sing Long っていうお店が街の中にあって、そこはジャパニーズスーパーマーケットノーサンプトンで引いてきてますので、メッセージも見ると、コメントも見ると、日本の食材が手に入りましたなんていう、そういうことも書いてましたから、 多少あるんじゃないかなというふうに思っています。ちょっと近いうちに行ってみようと思ってますけども、昨日得た情報です。
Thank you. Just one of the things that if you are homesick and you really miss food from home, you can order Japanese ingredients from Japan Center as well. That's based in London. I do that all the time. I even cook like some kitsune udon myself. You can also go to a Japanese restaurant in Northampton too, and there's lots of options in London as well. So you never miss food from home. So with accommodation, we have lots of different types. So we have one on campus, one in the town centre, and one just about 20 to 30 minutes bus ride away. And the cost for each will go down the further you are from campus. So you can roughly spend around £100 to £140 per week on accommodation. But please have a look at our virtual tour that we have on our website. That's on the homepage. You can actually walk through in person the rooms, the kitchen facilities, so you know exactly what you're getting before you move in. So that's it from me. My contact details are on the screen here if you want to get in touch. I am also available on WhatsApp too, if you prefer to have a quick chat, just a quick text, and I will be able to reply to you quickly as well. And yeah, please get in touch with Jason too. Talk about course or entry requirements if you have any questions about the placement too. So yes, let's go back to the questions and answer, if that's okay, Atsuko.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. So we have a couple of questions right now. I will read through.そうですね、生徒数、日本人の数、キャンパスの広さや雰囲気について教えていただけますでしょうかということなんですけど、キャンパスの広さ、雰囲気は先ほどのりさんが教えてくださったので、生徒数、日本人の数を教えていただけますか？ How many students do you have at school at the moment, and how many Japanese students are there?
So as mentioned, we have roughly about 14,000 students in total studying across full-time, part-time, master's, undergraduate degree. And then we have about 8 Japanese students currently studying with us across bachelor and master's degree, as well as exchange student like Nori.
Thank you. Next one is 卒業生の方でイギリスで就職される方と海外で就職される方はどちらが多いですかということですね。For graduated people, which is more, those who find employment in the UK or those who find it overseas?
We don't know that figure to be exact, but we know about 93% of all of our students find employment within 6 months of graduating. And I think you can take what Jason said earlier about, the alumni that has gone home to find employment within 3 weeks. So I guess it doesn't matter where you find employment, it's how you're able to find it, how quickly you're able to find it with our program, and how we prepare you to have the best chance of getting employment after you graduate.
Thank you. Next one is マーケティングのコースは学部時代の専攻の縛りはありますか？これは先ほどジェイソンさんからどのバックグラウンドでも応募できるっていうふうにお答えくださっていました。次ですね。留学生は比較的に、全員が寮に入れるのでしょうか？もし入れなかった場合は何かサポートはありますか？ということですね。So is university accommodation guaranteed for international students? If I could not get into the accommodation, is there any kind of support from school?
Yes, of course. So accommodation are prioritized for first-year undergraduate students and new students, but it's not guaranteed that you will get the accommodation. So we encourage you to apply early and accept your offer early so you can get the chance to submit your application and get in front of the queue. If you don't get the accommodation on campus, we then offer you advice on where to find private accommodation. We have a private accommodation officer dedicated to help students. So, but yeah, majority of students will find accommodation on campus, to be honest.
Thank you. The next one is 現在、授業は対面で行われていますか？オンラインの授業も多いですか？現在のイギリスの状況について少しお聞きしたいです。多分コロナのこととかだと思うんですけど、right now, are classes held face to face? Do you still have many online classes? I would like to ask you a little about the current situation in the UK. I think it's regarding COVID.
Shall I answer the classes question, Cantarose?
Yes, please.
Okay. So for students that started in September 2021, so the recent batch of students, all of their lessons are face-to-face in the classroom. They have no virtual lessons. So as I briefly mentioned, even with last year's students, whilst we couldn't do the majority of teaching face-to-face, we still met with the students as a group once a week. And then from May in the UK, we were back in the classroom face-to-face. So it is our ambition, certainly, that unless there is some very significant change in the situation, all lessons going forward will still be face-to-face. Okay.
Thank you. Are you all wearing masks in a classroom?
We are now. So just very recently, just in the past, maybe 10 days, we are now, it is mandatory. It's a regulation that inside any building, we wear masks. But actually, just to make the point, because the campus is brand new, it's very new, the ventilation system in it is of the very highest standard. So all rooms are, they have the throughput of air to make them as absolutely safe as possible. And also each room, or the majority of rooms, also have outside ventilation. So the rooms are very well ventilated to obviously mitigate any risk with any illnesses.
And
Please.
can I ask Nori, then I think it's better to hear from Nori about the COVID situation, like how she feels about it, whether she feels safe, like can you share with us?
今、お三方がね、お二方がおっしゃったように、非常にクリーンな、綺麗な建物ですし、どこに行ってもマスクが置いてあって、ハンドウォッシュのあれが置いてあって、窓も開いて、換気もすごくしっかりしてますし、確かに1週間ぐらい前に、10日前ですか、マスクをするようにと言われ始めましたけども、これは決してコロナが広がっているわけではなくて、あくまでもその予防的対策としてやってくださいという指示も得て、ただ日本の環境を考えると、それに比較的慣れている私たちのその国民性でもあるので、何も抵抗がなくやってますね。館内に入るときは必ずしてくださいということをおっしゃるスタッフの方もいて、徹底をしている、そういう雰囲気を感じています。で、授業の方も基本的にはフェイストゥフェイスをやってくださっていて、で、オンラインでも十分対応できるところ、例えばゲストスピーカーを招いて、少し生の声を聞いてみる、授業に関係するところでっていうような時は、そのゲストスピーカーの方のその移動なんかも考えてのことなのか、オンラインで提供していただくことがありますけども、基本もう1時間半の枠が各モジュールで2つ3つあるんですけども、私は5個のモジュールを取ってますが、1週間ほぼほぼ授業は埋まってる感じで、朝行ってで夕方帰ってくる、そういう生活をしてます。
ありがとうございます。その他何かご質問ありましたら、時間が来てますので、これで なければおしまいにしたいと思います。大丈夫ですか？ Okay. So thank you so much for today, Jason, Kantaros, Nori-san. Thank you so much for your time. We enjoyed your presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
ノーサンプトン大学はまたセミナーとかもよく定期的にしてくださいますし、留学フェアにもよく参加してくださいますので、ご興味がありましたら、セミナーやフェアにまた参加してください。本日はどうもありがとうございました。失礼いたします。バイ。
バイ。
バイバイ。